Money has a strange way of changing people, not all at once, but quietly, over time. This story begins with a family that, from the outside, looked perfectly ordinary. There were no public feuds, no criminal history, just relatives tied together by blood, routine, and eventually, inheritance. When the family's elderly patriarch passed away, the assumption was simple. His estate would be divided fairly. There was absolutely no reason to expect conflict, no warnings, no red flags. But when the will was read, everything shifted. One family member received almost everything. The others received very little, and some got nothing at all. At first, there were just arguments, phone calls that went unanswered, a thick tension at family gatherings. It was the kind of resentment that people pretend doesn't exist, while quietly feeding it behind closed doors over time. That resentment hardened into something else, not rage. Not yet. It became a fixation, according to investigators who later pieced it all together. One relative became utterly consumed by the idea that the inheritance was stolen, that the will had been manipulated, that what happened wasn't just unfair, it was a personal attack. But instead of going to court, instead of confronting anyone directly, they began to plan, slowly, methodically. On the night everything fell apart. The house was quiet. No neighbors heard any shouting. At first, no signs of a struggle were reported. What the police found inside was far worse. 3 members of the same family were dead. There was no forced entry, no robbery. Nothing was taken. This meant one chilling thing. Whoever did this didn't come from money. They came for what they believed was resolution. As investigators dug deeper into the family's life, the inheritance dispute resurfaced. They found text messages, emails, and conversations where simmering resentment had spiraled into a dangerous obsession. The motive wasn't hidden at all, it had just been tragically underestimated by everyone. When the suspect was finally brought in for questioning, there was no dramatic confession, no emotional breakdown. Just one cold sentence that stayed with the detectives for years. They took what was mine. What made this case so especially disturbing wasn't just the violence. It was how quietly everything had escalated. There were no public threats, no warning signs that anyone recognized in time. There was just a belief, left to grow unchecked in the dark, that something had been stolen. That murder was a justifiable way to balance the scales. In the end, the inheritance that started it all became meaningless. Court battles completely replaced family ties. All the assets were frozen, and lives were gone forever. Nothing was won. The only thing that happened was that the truth was revealed, and that's the part that matters most. Because the real story here isn't about money. It's about how a sense of entitlement, when mixed with silence and resentment, can turn ordinary people into something unrecognizable. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens step by step. And once that final line is crossed, there is no inheritance big enough to undo what follows. Because some of the most terrifying stories aren't hidden by secrets. They're hidden by how ordinary they seem until it's far too late. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please subscribe for more narratives that explore the hidden side of human nature.